This bin is full of Christmas crafting items. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Melinda, plain and simple. I'm back down in my basement, and if you watch my channel, then you've seen this room before. I think it's holding up pretty well, but I do still have some things in this bin, and I want to transfer it to that cabinet. And that means I need to do a little rearranging. So if you've got something around your house that you want to do, grab your stuff and come on, and let's do it together. I will show you what I am dealing with here. This shelf has ribbon, and I use these, but as you can see, they're kind of all whopper jawed. When I first put them in there, they were all kind of neat, but sometimes I'll pull them out and then I end up sticking them back in, and I don't get them back in the best order. So I need to pull all that out and rearrange that stuff. And then up here, I have a few things. I used to have all of these cabinets. I have 4 of these cabinets, and they were completely full of fabric. Or at least 3 of them were. I can't remember if all 4 were or 3 were. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the videos. But this is all I have left of the fabric. And so I've given away quite a bit of that. But I have a few other things up in this shelf, so I need to take that stuff out as well and see if there's anything that I am ready to let go of, and maybe I can organize it a little bit better and try to find space for the things that's in this bin. This bin is full of Christmas crafting items, and I have used some of these, and actually I forgot I had this bin, or I would have already put these things in the cabinets, in the shelves. But I kind of peeked through it, and I don't really think I'm ready to let go of it yet, because I might want to do a little Christmas crafty thing here and there. So I'm going to try to find space to put this stuff on the shelf. I'm going to start with this shelf, so I'm just going to pull everything out and put it on the table over here, and then I will assess what I have and maybe find a few things I don't really need to keep. Most of the things in this bin, they're small items, and they're in these smaller bins. So I'm just going to transfer these as they are into the cabinet. I'm not going to worry with going through them or anything. I'm just going to get them out of the bin and get this emptied out as quickly as possible. This is how it looks if I put the containers side by side. This space is not deep enough for the ribbon to go into it, so I put them on top. But to be honest with you, I'm not really loving that, so I'm going to try something different. By stacking the containers, I have a little space left here. And on this shelf now, I took everything out. I left this box lid here. I'm going to try to put as many of these little packages of ribbon in here that I can fit. I don't know that all of them will fit in here, but whatever will fit in here, when I want to work on a project, I can just pull the whole thing out at one time. If I want to work on it down here or upstairs, it'll be easy to transport it, and then I can pick whichever ribbon I want from whichever container. Let's see, this I think was a little bit more solid. And we'll put this one in front. So all of those will fit in there very nicely. And then I have this one. This was a candy container, and I put those ribbon things in there. They match, so I'll put those in there. And then that one's kind of large, so we'll just leave it like that. And that way all of the ribbon is in one space. And now I'll try to put the rest of the things back in there in a way that'll make it easy for me to find them and use them, and then put them back in a nice, neat way. I decided to move the rest of the ribbon over into the box lid. As you can see, I can move it all out very easily. I'll be able to carry it, so that'll be fine. That's what it's looking like right now. And I turned around and looked at the table, because now I need to deal with all of this. And I thought, no, I can't do that right now. I'm going to take a little break. You know, sometimes when you're decluttering or rearranging, it can get a little overwhelming. I don't know why. Sometimes you can just do it. You can plow through. And sometimes it just feels like, oh, take a deep breath. So I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to take a break. And I'll come back down and do more of this later, or maybe tomorrow. Either way, I'll get it taken care of. I'm not even going to worry about putting this stuff away or trying to hide it, because it's in my basement. I can just turn the light off. I can even shut the door if I want to and go upstairs. It's fine. It'll be okay. Okay, my break is over. I am refreshed. It is a new day. I'm going to get back to work. So let's see what we have here. A lot of stuff. Most of it has to do with sewing and crafting. We have some envelopes here, envelopes and blank cards. There was a time when I thought I would enjoy making cards, but I never did do it. Am I ready to give that up yet? I don't know yet. So let me see. Where can we start? I have a lot of small items. I'm not really ready to let go of this stuff. These are things that, you know, I let go of a lot of my sewing things, a lot of my extras. But I did want to keep some needles and things like that around. You never know when you might need to do a little patching or something. So I did keep some of that stuff around. And I know that I have in this cabinet here, I'm trying not to make you dizzy, I have some bins, some of these cloth bins that are like those up there. So I think I'll see if I can incorporate some of these into corralling this stuff and get it a little bit more organized. I decided to start with this container, and since I have 3 of these zip type bags that already have things in them, I'm going to see if I can put them into these containers, and then I can add things, these little loose things, I can add them to these bags and get some of this stuff so that it's not just loose around. So I have this little tag, so I'll just stick it in one of those little bags. I have some oil stuff, and this just has 1 needle in it, but I'll put it in there. And I have these pearls. This is for a crafty thing, and it looks like I have a bag here that already has some crafty items in it, some pieces of felt and ribbon and different kinds of things like that already in there, so I think that'll be a great place for that to go. Oh, and I had this. It was empty. It was over here underneath of this, or underneath of something over here, and I had noticed that this lid comes off very easily, and a lot of these were loose over there in the tray where I had them in the cabinet. So rather than trying to find a way to put them in there or tape that down, I'm going to try switching them into this container. It's not a real very convenient container because it's got these little slots for the things that I need for it for anyway. But I thought, well, it might work for this. So I'm going to try to do this without spilling them on the table. And then whenever I need one, they'll be in here. It'll be able to close and snap easily. I can move these down. And that way, if I want to put something else in the other slots, I can. And I won't have to worry about it getting messed up. Now this one is closed. It's fine. These are paper clips. And then here I have some straight pins in this baggie, but these are, I think they're different sizes, but they're different than these. These have a curve to them. These are for when you're doing quilting, I think, and then these are different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them into a different slot in here. This box was the perfect size for my 2 little cross-stitch pieces, so I put them in here to protect them. It wasn't quite big enough for this little frame, but that's okay. I'm just going to put these off to the side. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them, but I'm not going to be decluttering them. I am going to go ahead and declutter this plastic bag, though, because it's the one that had the little safety pins in it. But I don't need to use that. I'm not going to reuse it. But now I'm going to move over to here. This has crochet hooks in it, so I already know what that is. This, let's see what it is, because I don't know if it's anything important. I'm not sure. I'm going to go through this separately, not on camera. So I'll take this upstairs and put it on my table so that I'll go through this later. I'll just set that to the side. And then there's a little doily here. I can put that in with the little crafting stuff in that bag. I have a pair of scissors, more pins. Put them in here too. Get them to go in. There we go. And then we can go ahead and declutter that baggie. And there's just some crocheting yarn and a crochet hook. So some project I started but didn't finish, probably. But so anyway, let's just go ahead and keep this as a crochet bin. This is a little crochet hook here. I probably had these in there because you have to cut things when you're doing crocheting. Let's see. So that should be okay. And this one has, what does it have in it? If I can get it open with my hand here. There we go. Let's see. Thimbles. Some thread. No, this is wire. Yeah, those are like, this is a gold thread. I'm wondering if that, or is it wire? I think it's wire. I don't know. And more of these labels. Let's see if I can find that one down in there that I dropped in. I would put it in there, but I don't know where it went. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I think we'll just leave that as it is. So, oops, bump that right out of there. So we have these things that can need to find homes, and these can get decluttered. And let's see. Okay, I'm not sure what this was for. I think it's just felt, so I will put it over here with my stack of fabric that I still have. I also have some ribbon here, and so I think I'll go ahead and put these over here in the ribbon stash. It doesn't have to be perfectly perfect. You can see I kept some of these plastic things with a zipper on them. Like when you get curtains or sheets or something, sometimes you'll get them. You'll get one of these little things. And I've kept a few. I haven't kept all of them, but I've kept a few so that I can store things like this in them, little ribbons and that sort of thing. And they've come in pretty handy. See, it keeps everything kind of corralled. And you can see through it, which is great. I flipped through my containers that are similar to this to see how many more I have. This is the only other one I have that is like this one. The other ones are larger, and so they won't fit into the spaces that I have available in the cabinet. But I also found some of these. They're more shallow. They're more like a tray, but if I need to use them, I will, because as you can see, they will be, they're not so wide that they won't fit into my spaces. But since I have limited space and limited containers that I can use, I decided to see if my bag of threads will fit into this container as well. Since all of these are Ziploc type bags with smaller items in it, and it did. So if I can get it down in there, and that way it'll all be in there in their Ziploc things. I can pull out whichever bag I want to. I can seal them up, and they'll all be corralled and in one space. So I'll know small items that have to do with crafting and sewing are in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into the cabinet and clear off a little bit more of this table. This is my stack of fabric. I'm going to see if I can fit at least most of it into that bin. I got several pieces of fabric into this container. This one was too thick. It's a pretty big piece, and I haven't decided if I'm actually going to use it or not. I may end up decluttering that at some point, but I'm going to hang on because I'm going to be doing some just a little bit of freshening up in my office in the spare bedroom. So I just want to make sure before I go ahead and declutter this that I'm not going to use it somewhere. That's the only reason I'm hanging on to it. But it fits nicely in here, see. So that takes care of that. But I also had a few smaller pieces here. I put those into one of these little bags. And this can get moved into our Halloween stuff, because this is actually a cape that I made for Randy years and years and years ago. We didn't have money for costumes and stuff like that. So, and he wanted to be Dracula, so I made him a Dracula cape. And it always gets lost at Halloween. We never can find it, so he hasn't used it for years. But I'm going to put this in the Halloween stuff so we'll know where it's at next time he wants to be a Dracula. And this is actually a skirt that my mom made. She had this piece of fabric. It's a beautiful pink velvet, And I had to well, I didn't have to be, but I was in school. I had to be in this program at school. I played violin, and we had a thing one night, and I needed a formal type outfit. So I think she bought the satin, really beautiful satin blouse for me, and she had this bit of fabric. She barely had enough, but she made this skirt for me. I think I was probably, well, let's see, I was probably maybe 14 or something, 14, 15, maybe even 16. I don't remember now. But anyway, so she made this for me, and I'll just give you an idea if I can find it now. She had just barely enough fabric, and so the seam that she made up the side, she had barely enough to even put a stitch in. And so over time, I only wore it a couple of times, but as it's see there, you can tell, like right there, there's absolutely no seam allowance. But over time, I think maybe we washed it or something, and because this is a washable velvet, and that's how that happened. I didn't rip it out, thankfully. It fit fine and everything like that, but she just barely had enough material to do it. So I don't want to declutter it, even though I'm not going to be using it. It's not something that anyone could wear because of that, unless they were able to, stitch that up. But I thought maybe I can figure out something that I can make using this fabric and turn it into something else, just so I can hang on to that. My mom did not make a lot of clothes for me, so and she went out of her way to do this. She worked and everything, and so she went out of her way to do that and make sure that I had something. And as usual, it was last minute, so I was always worried, always up until the last minute. But my parents always came through. So I do want to hang on to that because it is kind of special for me. I really do. It just makes me happy when I see it, and that's the reason I want to hang on to it. So I'm going to hang on to it, but it's not going to fit into this bin. This tray fits nicely here, but as you can see, there's lots of room left in it. So I'm going to move this up. It's only got a couple of things in it, but they are kind of sewing related. So I'm going to see if it's in there. I think it's so cute. So I want to keep that even though it's not got much in it. But I don't have room up there for this. So I wanted to see if maybe this would fit down here, since those are knitting needles. So that seemed appropriate to put the crochet hooks and things down here with the knitting needles, and the door should close. So I think that will work out perfectly. And I think this shelf will fit into this shelf in the different cabinet. I can turn these up on their side or upright, and they should fit underneath. Let's see. They fit nicely underneath, but now I can see the backs of them. So I'm going to swap these two things. I'm going to move these over there and those over to there. And that way it will be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing because I'll be able to see the fronts of these binders instead of the back side. I like that much better, and it only took me a couple of minutes to make the switch. These are a fun memory for me. These are the outlines of of three of my nieces, their hands when they were little. Obviously, it was 2004, and this was on Thanksgiving, which is coming up. This is the beginning of November, so this is coming up. And so the reason I did this was because I knew I was making them quilts for Christmas. I was going to surprise them with quilts, and I got this bright idea that I wanted to stitch the outline of their hands on the quilt, and I think I did whichever hand they wrote with. I think that's the hand that I stitched onto the quilt. So I just on Thanksgiving I got them to outline their hands for me. And this one, Jenna, she's actually getting married this year a couple of days before Thanksgiving. So this is really special, just to run across this again, because she was a little bitty thing and now she's all grown up, gone through college and everything, and she's getting married. So that's really special. But I'm not going to declutter these. I just think they're adorable. So I'm going to put these in my memory bin, and I'm going to hang on to them because this is another one of those things that just makes me smile when I run across it. Okay, so we are making some headway. I don't really have a use for a garment bag right now, but I'm going to hang on to these. I can put these with those cubby containers that I have, and that way I'll know where to find them. And also these. I have several of these, but I used a couple of these today, so I want to hang on to what I have because I may still find a use for those. I'm still organizing and sorting things out, so I want to hang on to those. I'm not purchasing a lot of things, so that's not something that is coming into my house often. Like grocery bags and stuff, when you go to the store, those things come in all the time if if your area still has plastic bags and that sort of thing. But these are the type of bags that I'm only going to get if I purchase something that comes in that type of bag. And that's the reason I want to hang on to just a few of them. Like I said, I have tossed several. I don't keep all of them, but I'm going to hang on to the ones that I do have right now. And so I'm going to put those in that same area as well. This is going to go into my memory bin, and this I can put in that stash with my fabric and that sort of stuff. And I also have this. These are some little, they're like coffee stirrers, and you can use these for crafting. So I'm going to put these with my crafting items. Well, thankfully, this cabinet has doors on it because this is not the most beautiful arrangement, but you can see I have containers up here. If I need to get something out, it should be easy enough. Even if I need that container, all I gotta do is pull that one off top, and then I can get into all of that stuff. I don't have labels on it. I may do that at some point. But down here I have mostly ribbon. This is all ribbon. And here I have the cards that I can do, and then a few other little crafty type items there. And down here, that's where I have the containers, like the plastic bags and the cubby things that I can use. And then I have the crochet stuff I put down there. But I'm still not done. So I think this is not going to fit back into that cabinet, but I do have space at the bottom of this cabinet over here. So I'm just going to put it here. Hopefully it will fit. I didn't try it. So, yep, it should fit down in here. So we'll put that back there. And that's its instructions. We'll put that in there as well. And I'm going to take this shower organizer upstairs and see if I have a place that I can use that. And like I said before, I'm going to relocate this to my Halloween bin. This bag is empty, so I don't need that. But I can put these curtains in it and take these upstairs and put it in my pile of things to declutter. Because I've kept these for a while. I had several pair of these, but when I changed my curtains out, I kept a couple of panels. I think it may be two pair, it may be two panels. I'm not really sure which. But anyway, I haven't used them. I think I kept them in case I want to use them around Christmas time or something, but I'm not going to use them. So I'm just going to go ahead and let those go. And I also have this pattern for something that I made years ago. I have no idea what it was, but I've had this for years. I had it when I lived at the other house, and we've been living here since 2008. Or oh gosh, it's been a while. Since 2008. That seemed like, wait, is that right? But yep, that's right. Anyway, so I don't need to keep these. I don't even remember what they were for. So also decluttering that. And then I had this paper towel. I brought it down and wiped the table off with it. And this was my temporary label I had on the outside of my bin. I don't need to keep that anymore. This was in one of the little bins that I ended up using. And of course these two plastic bags. And I'm also going to take this upstairs so that I can look through that and see if there's anything in there that I need to keep, or if it's stuff that I can go ahead and let go of. So I'm going to clean this up, and then I will show you what it looks like. I want to finish it up. I'm not going to leave this mess down here. I want to have it completed when I leave this room today. I have my tables cleared off, and that bin is empty, and both of those bins are empty as well. But I'm not going to move them out of here because I actually have plans for those bins. Some items that I have in a closet upstairs that I want to take out, move them off out of the upstairs and put them down here. They belong down here. So now I have a place to put them. So again, it's not perfect. I'm still going to have things that are in bins, but these are things that are important to me. So they will be going into these bins at some point, not right away, but they're going to stay there for right now. But I just want to give you a little view of things, how it's kind of looking around here. See, it's kind of clearing out a little bit. It used to have lots more stuff in here. I still have lots of books, but not nearly as many as I used to have. If you've been watching my channel, you know I've cleared out quite a bit. Oh, and by the way, if you did any decluttering along with me today, let me know. You can let me know down in the comments. But I have a rug here that will at some point go out into that area of the basement. It used to be in this room. I've used it in my utility room, and now I'm going to use it out here, but I can't do it until we get this part finished up. And I'm going to walk slowly because I know some of you get a little dizzy. Sorry, litter pan. And I've told you, if you watch my channel, I told you, PJ has her litter pan here. It's in the middle of the floor. But this is where she likes to do number 2. Yeah, gross, right? So anyway, this right here, this is my stuff. Past that, that's all Randy's. Everything that way, that's all Randy's. So over here I have some things that I use, tools that I use for cleaning and that sort of stuff. I'm still kind of figuring out which of those things I'm really going to use and which ones I'm going to be able to let go of at some point. I figure it out a little at a time. And this cabinet has extra bins and that sort of stuff. If I want a bin, I come down here and check down here first. I have a rug over there that I've had since was at the other house that we lived at. That is going to get decluttered, but it's too heavy for me to carry up out of here, so it's still down here. Those 2 chairs, they go with the dining room table upstairs, but they were in my way, so I moved them down here. And here I have my cleaning stuff. And if you're wondering why I'm showing you this, it's because a viewer requested it. Her channel name is Beelle. I think her name is Elle. If it's not, you can let me know. But I'm going to call her Elle. So thank you, Elle, for requesting this. She wanted to have a little view of the basement because it was kind of confusing because she only saw a little at a time, I think. So anyway, when we get over to here, and it's still a little bit messy, those are going to go into the other room that's down here. This one's the one I claimed, and then there's another one that's kind of the flip version of it, and that's the one Randy uses for his office. I can't get to the window. So that's been laying there all this time. So whenever he gets around to it, that's what he'll do. This used to be full of cleaning supplies, and I cleared them off, and Randy is going to be able to use that for whatever he wants. And again, this is all Randy stuff, and I don't mess with that, so I'm just going to leave it. And you can see there's a plate down here. Sometimes PJ wants to eat down here. Those little things are taped to the floor. Randy is a scientist, and he's doing some sort of a science thing. I don't know, but whatever. Again, this is his stuff. I'm not going to mess with it. Yeah, so, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, it's better than it was. He actually has done some stuff to it, but we're just going to leave that. Oh, and that's us. I don't know if you've seen this. You can see in the lighting there. There's a Charlie Brown Christmas tree in front of it, but that is from our wedding, right after the wedding when we got into the car. That's us back. Oh, we're coming up on our 50th anniversary, by the way, in next year, early next year. So anyway, we'll go into here. I'm not going to go in there. That's his stuff. It's private, but just know it looks like that. And this is more of his stuff. So you can kind of tell the difference. So he uses the kitty litter boxes as his organizers. That's fine. He can do whatever he wants to do. It's his house too. And I am not going to complain. I would love for that to be not in the middle of the floor, but it is. And as you can see, he filled it up. And over here, I said, do you want to use this cart for anything? And now it is in the middle of the floor. Also doing some sort of a science experiment, and he uses my Christmas bins as his table. That's okay. I told him I just want this space, this space, this space, and you can do whatever you want with the rest, and that's what he's doing. So it's fine. I'm not down here that much, so I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm not going to complain about it. And back here we have more of his stuff and more of his stuff. But then over here, you see I have my Christmas bins greatly narrowed down. I had at one point, before I was doing videos, I probably had over 40. I know I had over 40 bins, different sizes, some big, some were smaller. I had huge Christmas bags of things and stuff like that. So I had tons and tons and tons of Christmas stuff, and I have gotten it greatly narrowed down. Down on the end, I have a couple that are, see these two right here. Those are just special Christmas items, mostly Randy's, but things that we don't use anymore, but we are not wanting to let go of. We just want to hang on to them. And I have a couple of bins down here that have Christmas paper and Christmas bags in them, and we have a Christmas tree in one of those bins. And then I have a couple, let's see, I think one of these, that one right there, that one's actually empty. But I may put something in it, so I left it there. But these two have the stuff I used last Christmas. I think that's all I used last Christmas. It's in those two bins. And Christmas paper and Christmas books. And these are things that we can use for gifts, not just Christmas. We can use them anytime. And I think that one right there has Christmas bags, I think, in it as well. And over here I have some empty bins. I've not let go of many of my bins, a few, but not many of my bins, because I'm hoping that maybe Randy will decide he wants to use some of them. Because if he wants to keep his stuff, maybe he can at least put it in a bin, but you know, whatever. But in case I want to use a bin, because I have a few more things that maybe I might want to relocate from the upstairs to down here, and maybe I want to let go of it and maybe I don't. So I'm going to hang on to the bins until I am sure, because I don't want to repurchase any bins. And then down here I have a couple of bins, and you see they get all dusty, but I have a couple of bins that have Halloween stuff. One has the stuff that we use, and one has the stuff that Randy doesn't want to let go of. So that's kind of how I'm dealing with that. I just, you know, I just deal with it. It's fine. I don't have a problem. And behind that door, one of these days, I'm going to have a massive bin declutter someday. Not yet. And I think these are all empty as well. And then here I have my little drawers that I have stuff that I use with laundry in the laundry area. This has some things that need to get washed, like the microfiber towels and that sort of thing. I'll just throw them in there. And then when I have enough of them, I go ahead and wash them. So washer and dryer area there. And I think that's pretty much the whole area. I'm not going to bother showing you the kitty litter pans. We have 3 down in this and in this room. So I guess that's 4 altogether. But you don't want to see that. They're nasty. Well, I guess you did get a peek right there. You got a little peek of the you got a little peek of one of them. So anyway, that is my basement. So hopefully that clears up whatever the confusion was, Elle. And I'm going to be getting down here pretty soon and going through my Christmas stuff again. So I hope you will stay tuned and join me again. Until next time, happy decluttering.